If you're looking for a way to get your fire started, check out procamptech.com. They've got fat rope stick, fire strip roll, and more. Check them out, procamptech.com.
Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're going to be looking at a couple different EDC survival kits. So what we have here is the Ultimate EDC Basic. We also have the Ultimate EDC Advanced, and then we're going to be looking at this, which is the Tiny Survival Card. So these all come to us from Ultimate Survival Tips and his subsidiary company, Tiny Survival. If you know David, he made the MSK1. He's been on YouTube for quite a while, reviewing outdoor gear and such. I have not researched these, looked at these at all. So he reached out to me and said, hey, you want to review one or review a couple? I said, absolutely. So I'm going to give you my opinion, basically, as we look at the items in it and see what comes inside. So what you have here basically is like the kit, and then the kit with a little bit more expansion as far as a container to hold it. And the same thing over here. We have like the kit here, and then we have the kit with the container to hold it. So here's the kit, and then it says in this kit has the Pocket 30 Basic Survival Kit, the Tiny Survival Guide, and the exclusive Survival Tin. For this, it's the Ultimate EDC Advanced, and then also same thing, EDC Advanced, Tiny Survival Guide, and the exclusive Survival Tin Kit. So I think what I'm going to do is unbox this one, or unbag this one and unbag this one, and take a look inside and let you know what we think about this kit. All right, let's start with the Ultimate EDC Basic. It's got 30 items inside. So when I open these, I always like to see if there's a sealed bag, because that's something I can reuse. So when I open it up inside, user tips, tools, and training, got the QR code so you can scan, and then free stuff. Then also he promotes the Survival Show podcast, which he does with Craig Cottle from the Nature Reliance School. And actually, I got interviewed on this one time, so check it out. Definitely a good quality podcast on the topic of survival and preparedness. So that's everything here. Then we've got the bag. Let me open this up and see what's inside. So we'll take this out, take the tin out, take more items. Okay, so we got a bag. So if you just bought this, you know, tested it out, and then bought another one after you used some of the items and kept it in the bag, you've got it sealed already, which is nice. Here we've got take 10% off when you buy bulk packs from Tiny Survival, a bunch of the different items. We've got a tin. This is about the size of any Altoids tin. It's black. Looks similar to like the Essie Survival tins. You do have the Survival Kit card here, which is cool. So you can check the box of different things, and then you can add, you know, the other things that are in your kit, blank on the back. And you got a Ranger band to basically put around the kit to keep it closed. So there's that. I do like the idea of a list, or, you know, a place to write a list. I think that's cool. Basic tin inside. You can use it as sort of a reflective tool. It's not going to be as good as a mirror, but you can definitely reflect with that. All right, Tiny Survival Guide. I've actually reviewed this. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because I've already talked about it, but I'll open it up just to show you. Tiny Survival Guide has, I mean, it fits in your wallet quite easily. It's definitely as thick as maybe three credit cards, but this thing opens up to offer a massive amount of information in a very, very compact size. And then you can see there's QR codes all over the place for you to scan to learn more. So you've got this whole thing. I mean, you're looking at probably, you know, 2 feet, 2.5 feet. And then flip to the other side, more information as well. So definitely a ton of stuff you can learn from this. And the other thing is that if you are in a survival situation, just having something to read to distract you, to get your mind off of it, you know, when it's late at night or you're trying to get through the night in your shelter, it's good to have something additional like this. So overall, I am a fan of the Tiny Survival Guide. They are available on Amazon. I'll put links down below. Good piece of kit to have with you. All right, let's take a look and see what is in the Ultimate Survival Tips Pocket 30 Basic EDC Survival Kit. It says 30 essential survival items: fire, water, food, first aid, navigation, rescue, and gear repair. All right, so taking this out, here's the full list. I'm not going to go through the list right now because what I'm going to do is look at these items one by one. So I'll just put this here up in the corner of the screen. We've got some aqua tabs, so obviously that's for purifying water. Got a Band-Aid in here. We do have a alcohol prep pad. So there's that. All right, next up we have a Jolly Rancher, a little bit of extra sugar if you're in a outdoor survival situation. And then if this is just in your EDC, you know, kit or your pocket for the day, well, now you got a Jolly Rancher, which is nice. I'll put this guy right here. And we do have a fire steel with a striker, and I've actually used this kind before. It's fine. It's not as good as like a massive fire steel, or maybe some of the ones that like Exotac puts out, but this will definitely give you a good solid spark, and it's got the scraper there, so you're not dependent upon having a knife. This is an extender for your fire. It's a candle, but when you get a fire started or light a match, you can actually use that to extend the amount of time that the fire is burning. And I'm saying match because there is a match down here that I can see. Let's open this up. So we got a Ranger band. I'm guessing this is our water bag of sorts. So super compact. I mean, you saw how small that thing was. All right, so when you do get it all opened up, it's pretty loud, so I don't want to try to talk over it, but you can see here. So that's what it looks like. I'll have to double check how it relates to the water purification tablets, but get some water, throw it in here, seal it up with one of your Ranger bands, and now you got a way to carry some water. It does feel pretty durable. Feels more durable than just like a standard, like a Ziploc bag or something. I guess I'll put the tin up here too. There's your survival card. Is the original little bag that it came with. Now we have another small bag that's got a bunch of gear as well. All right, so I just dumped this little bag out, so I'm gonna put that right there. In here we have 2 Tinder Quick tabs to get a fire started. Got a couple matches. These are not waterproof matches, but 2 matches nonetheless. I think that's another Ranger band that probably was in the bag, or could be used to, you can burn it, you can use it to, obviously it has like a very strong rubber band. Got 3 tiny little hooks here. So 3 little hooks. This looks like, this is 40 feet of line, and it says good for fishing, repair, first aid, snares. So it doesn't say exactly what the, what test it is, but obviously you get some line there. Get 2 little safety pins here. Got a tiny little jig there for fishing. Got a cork for fishing. Got 2 little weights for fishing. Actually 3, let me correct that, 3 little weights. Do have a swivel as well here. I'll put that next to the hook. And then we've got a razor blade here. We also have this, which they're calling a DIY cork compass sticker. And it says it can fit on top of an Algene and connected to navigation. You also have a magnetized needle. I didn't mention this before, but these are strike anywhere matches. So they aren't necessarily waterproof, but they are strike anywhere matches, which you can tell from the little white tip there. So once again, if you get the Pocket 30 Basic, you'll get everything here except this card, this tin, and you also don't get the Tiny Survival Guide. So if you get the this one right here, the Ultimate EDC Basic, you'll get everything that you see in front of you. All right, so let me give you an assessment of this. For me, when I'm in the woods in New Hampshire, any time of year, number one thing I'm looking for is multiple ways to start fire. So we've got the matches, we've got the Tinder Quick. I always forget, Tinder Quick or Quick Tinder, but anyway, you got your fire starter here. You can use the Ranger bands for a fire starter. You got the fire steel. You got the fire extender. You got more Ranger bands. I like the amount of fire starting options here. What would I change? I'd put waterproof matches in here, and I'd give you a couple more. And then I'd also maybe throw in one more of these guys. But overall, fire's the biggest thing for me, and I think this covers it. So that's definitely a win. If you have this kit and you're looking at it, I'd like to upgrade a little bit. Great. Now you can add in a couple other Band-Aids. You can add another sterile prep pad for alcohol pad, maybe a couple other Aquamira tabs. Each one of these is good for a liter. So you've got 2 liters of water that you can treat with the bag and the tabs combined. Now in these types of kits, it's all about price, what you're paying, what David is putting into the kits versus what it costs. I would add something to signal with. I'd love to have a whistle in here. I think that would be great. And then one of those Mylar blankets. The biggest problem with those is that they don't fit in this size tin. I was talking to some of the crew over at Essie and saying, if you guys could find a way to, out of some material, even a smaller version of that, those Mylar blankets, and get it inside a tin, that would be a huge win. So once I've got a huge fire going to get through the cold New Hampshire nights, I'm making a shelter, or I'm putting a shelter up. So some sort of Mylar blanket would be great, but I just don't see how you'd fit it in this, especially in a package this small. So maybe with the advanced EDC, since I haven't opened this, we'll see what's in this one. But overall, I mean, I think ways to start fire, first aid, a way to purify water, a way to get some food, a tiny little razor blade. That's good for some basic. I mean, if you caught a fish, now you can cut it open and gut it with a razor blade. So I think as far as what you're getting with this kit for a what they're calling Pocket 30 Basic EDC Survival Kit, this is actually to me notably better than some of those $29.95 ones that come in a cheap plastic tin or a cheap plastic container, and it comes with like a bad flashlight and a tactical pen and a really bad knife. Like, David's not going for that with this. He's going for stuff I think that could actually help in a survival situation. Would I make some additions? Yeah, but that's going to be his call based on what the cost is to do that, and if he thinks people will buy a pre-made survival kit if he adds in too much stuff and the cost goes way up. But I do think this is a good foundation, or as it says, a good basic EDC survival kit. The key to any kit like this, you have to know how to use it. If you buy this kit, stick it in your back pocket or stick it in your bag and plan on surviving just because you have it, this is not going to be helping you much at all. You got to know how to use the gear here. So get out and test it. Make sure you're comfortable with the items in the kit. Just to show you that it does fit in the tin, I put everything in the tin, put a Ranger band around it, put this tin in a smaller bag, sealed that, put that tin in one of the larger bags and sealed that. So that's everything that comes with the basic EDC survival kit inside the tin. And when you get the ultimate EDC basic, you're going to get this kit, the tin, the tiny survival guide, and also the checklist. All right, so what we have here is the 45 pocket survival kit, and a lot of the items that are in the 45 are included in the 30. So basically everything on this side of the zip ties is included in the 30. So we already went through that. Additionally, with the 45, you're going to get some duct tape, you're going to get a pencil, you're going to get this piece of paper. I think it's just for jotting down notes on. You can also use it as a tinder, as tinder to start a fire. You do get this little squeeze light that also has one of the lock on. I think this has a lock on feature, yeah. So you can flip that little switch to lock it on. Let's see if I can actually turn it off now with one hand. It's hard to do. Anyhow, so there's that. You do get some extra matches. You get some tin foil. You get a whistle, which I mentioned before. 2 twist ties. You get a 2x2 gauze. You get triple antibiotic ointment. You do get those 2 zip ties, and then you get a looks like a larger water bag. This is 1.5 liters as opposed to 1 liter. So I'll put this right up here. That's everything included in the 45. So biggest upgrade for me is this right here. It's a whistle, so you can actually get somebody's attention. This light is a great signaling device. You can definitely use it to see around camp a little bit here and there, but it's not giving you a ton of light. But put this on a piece of cordage and swing it around, and you can grab somebody's attention. Obviously, waterproof matches are better. These are lower cost. You get a bunch of matches, and if you keep it in a place that can that'll stay dry, like inside the tin, inside some bags, that is a nice addition for more fire. Like I mentioned before, fire is definitely a huge thing for me. So once again, I got everything in the tin. I got a Ranger band around that, and then that tin is in a bag, and that bag is in a larger bag. So there's the quick rundown of the 2 kits. Honestly, I've been inside this whole time. Let me get outside and give you some thoughts on these 2 kits. All right, guys, I'm outside now. Beautiful New Hampshire morning. You may hear the geese out there in the distance. Anyhow, I talked before about the tiny survival card. I'm not going to actually... There's a chipmunk running off there in the woods. Anyhow, I'm not going to talk about this guy today just for the length of time that this video is going to be. But I can tell you that David used a slightly thicker steel for this one than a lot of the other cards that are out there. So this will be, I'll probably post some pictures on social media of me using this card in different ways. So just stay tuned, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Once again, the Tiny Survival Guide, definitely a good product. Low cost, high value. I think this is something a lot of people should pick up and add to their survival kits. Let's talk about the Pocket 45 and the Pocket 30. I think for both of these products, it's a baseline. I have yet to see a survival kit that I personally would just get, become comfortable using and then either refill it or buy a new one and just throw it into a pack. I'm always personalizing survival gear. I think both of these guys give you a good basic level of survival gear. I wouldn't say if you're just getting into it necessarily, because you do have to know how to use the products. But again, if I'm out in the New Hampshire woods and I get lost, I'm in a survival situation where I live, fire's number 1, shelter's number 2, signal's number 3. I'm talking about real survival, not survival practice, training, trying to refine your skills. A real survival situation, those are my top 3. Both these kits cover that pretty well.
I think the 30 going up to the 45, I would go with the 30. Honestly, the 45 adds some more things, but for the extra size of it and weight of it, I think the 30 gives you the best value at this point. I think the 45 gives you some nice additional tools, particularly the whistle, but I would get the 30, add a whistle, throw a Mylar blanket in my back pocket, or put it in my backpack, whatever it is, when I'm going out hiking or hunting, and then go from there. The 45 adds some other items that I think have particular uses, but I personally liked the 30 kit, the basic 30 kit, the most. Now you can chat with David or Craig if you ever talk to them and ask them about the Survival Show podcast and the ratings. Early on, I rated it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Why? Because 5 out of 5 stars to me says that it's perfect. There's nothing that can be improved. And I feel like we live in a broken world. There's a lot of imperfections everywhere you look in the world. I feel like to say something is perfect and, can't be improved on this earth is just not reality. So same thing with this. I think these are good kits. I give them a thumbs up. There can be some improvements that are made. I think for a lot of people, they're going to look and they say, like, what about a cutting tool? And I would say, yes, a cutting tool could be a huge advantage in a survival situation. But again, if I really, I bust my leg and I'm going to be stuck in the woods overnight until somebody comes and finds me, give me warmth, give me shelter, give me that fire, give me that covering, give me a signal, and I'm going to wait it out in a real survival situation. Long term, yes, I definitely want a larger cutting tool. Part of the challenge is you're like, well, you should put a Mora in there. Okay, well, that's 15 extra bucks for the person or 12 extra bucks for the person. Even if you as the supplier are getting them for 9, let's say, that's 9 extra bucks that you got to put out front and that people have to be willing to invest. And there's a certain threshold where people are like, yeah, I don't want to invest the money and have somebody else make a kit. I'm going to do it myself. The whistle, the Mylar blanket, those types of things. You reach a threshold as the purchaser where you're like, I'm just going to do this on my own. So you got to always find that balance as the person putting the kit together. What am I willing to add into the kit that people are willing to pay for? And what's too much is going to push them over the top and say, yeah, I don't want to spend that amount of money. So it's definitely a challenge to do that. Even when I build my own kits, people comment on videos. They're like, how much did it cost you to build? And a lot of times when I tell people, they're like, oh, I could do it for less. And I'm like, awesome, good for you. If you're getting the same products for less, then, good job. For me, I do a lot of my research and I spend a lot of time before I buy a product to invest and put in a kit. So yeah, it's always that balance of how much you're willing to invest financially versus the products you're getting. So I do think the 30 and the 45 are both good kits. I think they offer a good baseline. I think you need to almost always, in my experience and opinion, you do need to always supplement and add based on what your skill set is and the particular items you want for your particular location for a survival kit. All right, guys, once again, we've been talking about the Pocket 30 and the Pocket 45 survival kit. Let me hear your thoughts. Leave some comments in the discussion section down below, and we'll get the conversation started. And as always, I'll put links to these products down below if you want to check them out or purchase them. Hey, thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.